6. That's where they list it. Referee Mike Cadwell will toss the ball up. There's the toss to Tamp. It's loose at midcourt, finally grabbed by the Mavericks. Dufault has it. We're underway from Hallenbeck. Dufault dribbles from right to left all the way underneath the basket along the baseline as he hugged the end line. Kicks it back out on top for Tommy Wald, the Maverick point guard. Back to Dufault, left wing. Dufault on a switch guarded by Sharnowski. Now to Joe Belka at the high post. Back to Dufault, left wing. The Mavericks leading scorer. Belka open. Free throw line, Jay good. Joe Belka, nothing but net. And it is 2-0 Mankato State. Dan Ward into the front court for the Huskies. Both teams starting out in the man-for-man. Ward passes to McDonald, left wing. Looks in for Bodette, nothing there. Brings it back out on top. Kramer to Ward on the right side perimeter. Ward dribbles to his right, lobs it down low on the block. Here's Bodette, kicks it back out. McDonald on the right side wing. McDonald back out to Ward. He's standing near the midcourt circle. Ward dumps it off now to Sharnowski at the high post. Bounce past Kramer. Top of the circle jumper. In and out, no good. And a soaring rebound by Joe Belka. Hands it off for Wald. Mavericks into the front court. 1 minute into this ball game, leading 2-0. Dufault cuts left to right on the perimeter. Kicks it out. Wald, 3 if it counts. Off the iron, no good. Battle for the rebound. Whistle and a foul on Mankato. As Bodette and Sharnowski had the area under the basket sealed off nicely for the Huskies, and the foul called on Mavericks small forward Pat Coleman. First foul of the game. And the game's first substitution quickly into the game is Corey Kettner, and it looks like Les Mitchell may have come up a little bit lame as the Mankato State trainer going to check on Mitchell. I didn't see what he might have done, but Kettner, the 6'9 freshman and Division I transfer from Montana State, into the game now for the Mavericks. Pass into the lane. Here's Bodette working against Kettner. Turnaround jumper hard off the backboard and rim. No good. And on the rebound, a foul on the Mavericks as Wald and Kramer went after the loose ball and Wald reached in. So the second quick foul on Mankato State. We are just underway from Hallenbeck Hall. 18:41 left first half. 2-0. Mankato State leading St. Cloud State, and the Huskies will pass in their front court, baseline right. Belka is guarding Sharnowski, the Huskies' leading scorer. Pass into Haug. He's got it on the right side. Kettner picks him up on a switch. Haug hands it off to Ward, right wing. Ward cuts to his left, now back to his right. Steps to the baseline, kicks it back out. Here's Kramer on the right side wing. Passes to Ward. Top of the circle jumper, no good. Off the left edge of the iron. Battle for the rebound, out of bounds, off of Bodette. As he and Belka were dueling for that loose ball, went off a bow out of bounds, so it goes over to Mankato. Into the front court, Tommy Wald for the Mavericks. Passes out on top to Belka. He's stationed at a high post. Back to Wald on the left wing. Dufault has it, top of the circle. Here's Coleman, the freshman forward, right side. Gets it off for Kettner. He likes the outside shot at 6'9". Now Coleman, right side, goes to the baseline. Running jumper is good. 6 feet down the line. Pat Coleman makes it 4-0 Mankato. Huskies quickly back the other way. A pass ahead to Kramer, and he is fouled as he went to the hoop. On transition, Stu Kramer fouled by Kettner. Third foul of the game, all against the Mavericks. Number 1 against Corey Kettner. And Stuart Kramer now will shoot 2 free throws for the Huskies. St. Cloud State coming into the week with 3 of the top 10 free throw shooters in the NCC. In terms of statistically, Joel McDonald, Greg Kesty, and Scott Springer. Free throw by Kramer, in and out, no good. Stewart on the year, a 72% free throw shooter. Only taken 19 free throws all year, including that one right there, made 13. Stu averaging 4.5 points per game. Second free throw good. Kramer making his 9th start in the Huskies' 20 games this year. He's been a consistent starter the last few games for Butch Raymond in St. Cloud State, making his 10th consecutive start tonight. Mavericks in the front court. Coleman right side, dribbles to the baseline, passes back out. Dufault has it right wing, goes around McDonald to the basket and missed the scoop layup attempt. Got by McDonald, but Dufault couldn't get it to go down. Pass in the lane, Sharnowski jams it off a great no-look feed from Ward. And the Huskies have scored 3 straight and trail it by 1, 4-3. Now Kettner slices down the lane, dishes on the block. Belka misses the layup, rebound of the Huskies. Ward makes a nice save along the right baseline. Ward comes into the front court on his dribble, passes off. Kramer, pull up, 19-footer by Stu, left side, no good. Long rebound to Wald, and the Mavericks have a 3-on-3 break. Wald down the left side, goes to the basket, banks it up and in. Ward tried to knock it away on a steal attempt. Good defense by Dan as he avoided the foul, but an equally nice play by Wald as he protected the basketball, hit the layup, and it's 6-3 Mankato. Sharnowski, pull-up jumper is good. Right baseline by Haug as the tempo picks up. Sharnowski has both Husky field goals. And it's 6-5 Mankato State. Now Wald back the other way quickly, and he is fouled. As the point guard, Tom Wald, made his move to the left side going towards the baseline, and it looks like Ward whistled for the foul. That'll be the Huskies' first on their sophomore point guard, Dan Ward. 6-5 Mankato State with the early lead. 16:49 remaining in our opening half, and Coleman passes in from the baseline for the Mavericks. Out to Kettner. Clears it further out near the left hash mark to Dufault. He'll leave it now for Wald. And the Mavericks will set up in that half-court man-to-man offense. Wald on top, guarded by Ward. To Coleman on the right side wing. Now down in the right corner. Kettner there. He's covered by Bodette. Bodette knocks it away. Kettner recovers it in front of the Husky bench. Passes back out. Dufault on top. Spins down the lane. Clears it off. Coleman open and banks it in. 12-foot jumper, high right edge of the lane by Pat Coleman. He's got two early buckets. It's 8-5 Mankato State. Huskies push it ahead quickly. Ward trying to get it down low for Sharnowski. Knocked away out of bounds. It'll stay with St. Cloud State. Mavericks have led by as many as 4 with their 4-0 opening lead, up by 3 now, 8-5. Ward passes in from the baseline to McDonald. He'll pump from 19. That jumper no good. Long rebound comes to Sharnowski at the high part of the lane. He'll clear it out for Kramer. Now to Ward on top. 3 steps beyond the top of the circle. Ward working the dribble, guarded by Wald. Ward now one-hands it to Sharnowski, right corner, out to Kramer. Passes up the 3. Stewart penetrates, lays it up and off. No good, but he was fouled. Kramer not one to take the ball to the basket a real lot that time. He passed up the 3, sliced around his man, and drew the foul from that man, Pat Coleman, who has his second foul, 4th on the Mavericks. Huskies have their first fresh body in the game now. Greg Kesty, the 6'7 senior, checks in at the post, replacing Bodette. Coleman, with that second foul, will now come out for Mankato, and Dan McCarroll will send in Matt Potter, the 6'4 junior out of Alden, Minnesota. Team fouls 4-1. That was number 4 on Mankato. Kramer now at the line for the Huskies. Free throw, good. Kramer and Sharnowski, the only Huskies to score so far for St. Cloud State. That's Stu's second point. He's 2 of 3 from the line. Sharnowski has both field goals so far. Haug, by the way, now 23 points short of the 1,000-point mark for his career. The 4th-year junior forward out of Plymouth. Second free throw also good by Kramer. Huskies back to within 1, 7-8. Pass down low on the left baseline, and Kettner is fouled by Kesty from behind. Kesty just in, picks up his first, the Huskies' second. Nice entry pass by Potter from the left wing. Got it to Kettner, the 6'9 freshman. He spun in. Was double teamed by Sharnowski and Kesty, and Greg got him from the backside. Kettner again still slowed by that hip pointer injury, and it was a rather severe injury, as Dan McCarroll outlined for us in the pregame. His free throw good. Kettner, who started at Montana State, now playing with the Mavericks after transferring back close to home. He's originally from Nicollet. Second free throw also good. He makes them both. Kettner averaging 11 points, 5.2 rebounds per game. He gives the Mavericks another 3-point lead. It's 10-7. Ward comes ahead for the Huskies, goes to the baseline, had it knocked out of his hands cleanly out of bounds as he cut to the basket by Belka. Belka with a little help defense there and a nice play to keep Ward from getting the layup. McDonald this time will inbound. Usually the Huskies will have their point men. In this case, Danny Ward on the floor inbound the pass, but this time McDonald will, just to the right of his basket on the baseline. Gets it in for Kramer. To Kesty at the high post. He's guarded by Kettner. Now back in the right corner, McDonald. Spinning off the dribble, brings it back out on top. Ward has it. 25 on the shot clock. Ward guarded by Wald atop the key. Fires it to the baseline. Here's Kesty. Cut off. Still lays it up and in. Kesty actually bumped with Belka. There was no call. Belka bounced away, and Kesty had the easy lay-in. 10-9 Mankato State. Huskies have yet to hold the lead. 15-10 left first half. Turnaround jumper, left corner by Kettner, partially blocked by Sharnowski. Loose ball recovered by Belka, and he was fouled down low by Kesty. So Greg Kesty coming off the bench with 2 quick fouls. 2 of the Huskies' 3 team fouls so far. Non-shooting foul there, as it was just a battle for the loose ball. And now LaTroy Spann will check in for the Huskies. The 6'7 senior, I'm sorry, not Spann, but Travis Brown coming in. Travis is the junior, 6'6 junior college transfer out of Northland Community College. He'll take the place of Kesty, and we may have seen our last of Greg Kesty here in the first half with those 2 quick fouls. Almost 5 minutes into this one. 10-9 Mankato State passing for the Mavericks. Dufault dribbling on top. Passes off from Matt Potter. Now on the right side block. Kettner kicks it back out. Potter. Dufault open right corner. 3 is good. first points for Monty Dufault, and that makes it 13-9 Mankato State. Mavericks with their biggest lead. Danny Ward in the front court, shovels it for McDonald. Right wing, he's guarded closely by Dufault. McDonald lobs in for Charnowski. He backs in, turnaround 10-footer by Howe, good. Boy, Charnowski is improving so much on his low post moves as he's able to post his man up, back in, and get a comfortable 10 or 12-foot jumper, and that time he hit it. Haug has all the Husky field goals, 3 of them. 6 points. Here's a top-of-the-key jumper, a 3 by Dufault. It's good. McDonald actually got a finger on that shot, but Dufault still put it down. Now the jump hook by Charnowski, good. Huskies off transition, back at the other end, cut the lead to 3. 16-13 Mankato State. Good pace to this first half, despite the fact both these clubs are good half-court defenders. Dufault has it front court, dribbles to the baseline, back out now. Potter on the right wing, and dumps it off for Wald, who traveled before Tom Wald made his move to the basket. So the Mavericks turn it over. Les Mitchell back in now for the Mavericks, the starting forward, and Kettner will come out. Kettner still looks like he is somewhat slowed by that hip injury. Just doesn't seem to have a real lot of jump right now. And for the Huskies, Chad Gurman checks in. Gurman, St. Cloud State's second leading scorer, averaging 12.6 points per game. The 6'2 junior coming in for McDonald. Huskies front court. Kramer, top of the circle. Passes off for Ward. Ward dribbles to his right, still working the dribble, goes to the baseline, underneath, loops it back out to Kramer. Left side perimeter. Now back out to Ward near the timeline. Passes off high post, Charnowski looking underneath, tried to get it to Gurman. It was knocked right back into Haug's face. The ball knocked away again loose and finally stolen by Potter. Great defense by Matt Potter, who was actually guarding Charnowski on a switch. That was a mismatch, but Potter still made a couple of big plays. Now the pass in for the Mavericks comes to Mitchell. His turnaround 6-footer is flat on the iron, no good. And the rebound to Haug, gets it off for Ward. Back to Charnowski, who looks extremely winded right now. Butch Raymond ready to make a switch. Pass on the left block, turnaround jumper by Brown, cleanly knocked out of his hand. Charnowski with the loose ball, out to Gurman. He rifles away from three-point range, that's short. And the rebound taken by Wald. He starts the Maverick break. Wald feeds on the baseline. Mitchell lays it up and off. It's spun out, no good, but he was fouled. And that foul on Stuart Kramer. Number 1 on Stu. Team fouls are 4 aside, and Les Mitchell will shoot a double. Now Charnowski finally will get a breather, and again Haug looks very tired. He was battling a cold earlier this week. And he's replaced by LaTroy Spann, the 6'7 senior and JC transfer originally from Chicago. LaTroy, a little under the weather, if I can use that term himself, injury-wise in Spann's case. He's got a dislocated left thumb, and he's wearing a brace on that thumb. But he was able to play several minutes against North Dakota on Tuesday. Now Les Mitchell at the stripe. Free throw good. First point for Mitchell. The Mavericks insert Aaron Hungerholt, the 5'11 sophomore out of Rushford. He is in for Wald at the point. Second free throw also good. Mitchell makes them both. It's 18-13 Mankato State. Huskies bring Scott Springer, one of their tri-captains, into the game for the first time tonight. The 6'4 senior out of Winthrop. Ward penetrating down the lane, the scoop 8-footer, twice off the rim, no good. Rebound Brown, and he banks it in. Brown took it away from Belka. Nice move by Travis, and the Huskies down by 3, 18-15. SCSU basketball on 98 Country. John Schroeder from Hallenbeck Hall. Now we've got a whistle as the Mavericks started to set up their offense. And a foul on Gurman as he was holding Hungerholt on the perimeter. First foul on Gurman. 5 now on the Huskies. St. Cloud State coming in having won 62% of its games this year with their 13-8 record. The Huskies have won 46% of their outings in the NCC so far. 6-7 conference mark. Mankato 1 game better again, both overall and in league play. 14-7 and 7-6 respectively. Pass in from the baseline. Potter out to Dufault. He'll fire away from three-point range. In and out, no good. Potter tries to save it, but he stepped on the baseline. And it goes to St. Cloud State. Potter and Brown went after that loose ball. Matt Potter stepped out. Spoke with Potter before the first meeting of these two this year. Potter, one of the all-time Minnesota leaders in scoring. He's in the top 100. I believe it's 75th all-time, if memory serves correctly, but he's been nothing more than a role player at Mankato State. He's had to adjust to a lesser college role than in high school, but he's done a good job, especially tonight, playing very heady ball. Huskies in the front court. Ward rifles it down low on the baseline. Here's Spann, and his bounce pass, a bad one in the lane, right into the hands of Mitchell. Turnover Huskies. Hungerholt brings it back now for the Mavericks. Out to Belka on top. Right wing Potter. He looks in, looking for Mitchell. He's fronted by Brown. Potter takes a dribble. Got to get rid of it. Finally does to Belka. Free throw line extended. Joe Belka backing off on his dribble. Out of Potter, right side wing. Mavericks trying to post up Mitchell. Dufault has it. He's open off the screen. Top of the key jumper. In and out. Offensive board. Belka muscles it back up and in. Joe Belka in traffic. His second bucket. And it's 20-15 Mankato State. Huskies have not led so far in this ballgame. Mavericks have been up by as many as 5. That's their lead right now. Huskies pass it to Gurman, left side perimeter. Springer on the right wing, and he is whistled for traveling. So the Huskies turn it over. St. Cloud State will bring in starting center Chris Beaudette. He is back in, replacing Span for SCSU. Pass in, approaching the 11-minute mark, remaining first half, as Dufault casually dribbles it ahead. Guarded by Ward. Dufault posting upward. Turnaround 10-footer is good. Dufault with about a 3-inch height advantage used it to his benefit there. He's got 8. Third basket for Dufault. 22-15 Mavericks. Now Ward working against Hungerholt. And now Ward turns on the Jets offensively. Went down the lane and Hungerholt reached him. So maybe Danny wanted a little retribution, even though it was a different player there on the matchup. This time Ward against Hungerholt. And Hungerholt has his first, the Mavericks' 5th. Non-shooting foul. It'll be a baseline toss-in. Team fouls are 5 aside now. 22-15 Mankato State. The Mavericks holding their biggest lead so far tonight. Ward will toss in from to the right of his bucket. Gets it in for Gurman. Fakes the shot. Spins. Shoots and hits. Nifty move by Chad Gurman as he put the head and shoulders fake on Potter to get him just an instant of free time. He still shot it under duress. Potter recovered well, but Gurman made the 18-footer for his first 2 points. And now a foul back at the other end as, again, it was Dufault against Ward, trying to make his move down the lane, and Motti was able to coax that foul from Ward, who has his second. 6 team fouls. Ward will leave now, replaced by Dino DeVita, the sophomore out of Milwaukee. Charnowski back in, as is Kramer for the Huskies. So in addition to Ward, Springer and Brown leave. Pass in for the Mavericks. They are up by 5. 10:26 left first half. Dufault penetrates, kicks it back out. Potter tries a 3 and rattles it down. Top of the circle jumper. First points by Matt Potter. The Mavericks' 3rd tray, and they lead it 25-17. Here comes DeVita, now running the Husky offense. Dribbling left to right along the arc. DeVita gives it up for Gurman on the left wing. He goes to the left-hand dribble, stops on the baseline, passes back out on the wing. Kramer to DeVita, left corner. 3 if it counts. Yes! Nothing but net on that 3-point shot by Gurman, who's made his last 2 field goal attempts. And it's 25-20. Mankato State just past the midway mark of the first half. Dufault at the point for the Mavericks, working against DeVita. Dufault drives into the lane, off balance, passes back out. Potter tries an off-balance 10-footer, no good, but the rebound taken by Belka, and he lays it back in. Belka with the offensive board and basket. He's got 6, 27-20 Mankato. DeVita atop the circle, passes to the high post, free throw line. Beaudette out to Charnowski. Passes up an 18-footer. That's really not Haug's shot. Instead, he passes back out on top to DeVita. Dino down the lane, dishes on the right side wing for Beaudette. The ball is knocked away, but recovered by Kramer on top. Passes off to Charnowski, top of the circle. Gurman in the lane, whistle and a foul as Gurman got it down low to Beaudette, and he had pretty good position on Mitchell, who reached in. And Les Mitchell has his first foul of the night. Team fouls now 6 apiece. Joe Belka will hit the bench for his first breather for the Mavericks. Potter will also leave. Replacing Belka at the post will be Kettner. And in for Potter at the small forward starter, Pat Coleman. Pass in. Ford Gurman to the left of his hoop. Gets it in for Kramer. Tries a 3. That's short. Battle for the rebound. Beaudette took it away from Kettner and banks it in. Great determination on the offensive glass for Charnowski, who has 10 of the Huskies' 22 points. And with 9 minutes left in the half, the Huskies are down by 5. It's been somewhat of a struggle so far in this first half for St. Cloud State. Mankato, a solid ball club. Dufault backs into the lane on his dribble, gets it off for Coleman at the line, dishes on the right baseline. Here's Mitchell. Takes 2 dribbles, then hands it off. Dufault from the wing into the lane, dishes open as Mitchell slams it down. Great give and go. Dufault and Mitchell, first field goal for Les. And it's 29-22 Mankato. 8.5 left in our opening half. DeVita on his dribble out high for the Huskies. Bounce past Charnowski. Now on the left side wing. Kramer in the lane. Bodette had it knocked away cleanly by Coleman and recovered on the turnover by Dufault. Great help side defense there by Pat Coleman. Dufault spotting up. Three-pointer. Swish. Correction, not a 3 but a 2 as they said he had his feet on the arc. Monty Dufault hits another bucket. The Mavericks have a 9-point lead and Butch Raymond and the Huskies want a timeout. 8:13 left first half. 31-22 Mankato State remaining, and we'll return with more St. Cloud State basketball after this. High school hockey final in. Apollo beat Tech today 3-2 in overtime. College hockey, St. John's over Augsburg today 5-3. Back to the action. Huskies down by 9. Charnowski tries the long outside jump shot, right wing. 18-footer that was short. And the rebound's taken by Mankato. Under 8 minutes left to go. The Mavericks with Tom Wald back into the game. Hungerholtz returned. He has replaced Dufault. Wald has it. On top of the circle now. Wald backing off. Hungerholt and Wald both really point guards now. Hungerholt will play the off guard in the absence of Dufault. Hungerholt passes down low. Kettner back to Hungerholt on the wing. Back to Corey Kettner. Turnaround 10-footer from the right baseline by Kettner. Won't go. Off the back iron and the rebound taken by Bodette. DeVita will front court it now for St. Cloud State. DeVita, the Husky point guard to Bodette. Underneath, Charnowski missed a layup. A turnaround 6-footer. That was a bunny, but Howard couldn't get it to go down. So the Huskies' woes from the field continue. And Mankato has the basketball back with 7:15 to the half. Wald on top to Hungerholt, left wing. It's an off for Kettner. Off a screen. He's open for three-point range. Passes up the tray, goes down the lane. He was pushed by Charnowski as Kettner tried the running jumper. So that'll put Corey Kettner at the line to shoot two. That's the 7th foul on the Huskies. But again, this will be a two-shotter regardless. First foul on Charnowski. And he will come out of the game. Charnowski does not look like he's got a real high energy level tonight for some reason. Of course, he's the Huskies' Iron Man. Not their team leader in minutes played. That honor goes to Ward. But Haug just plays so well so much of the time and so hard. But he looks like he is really out of breath tonight. I don't know if that cold is affecting him, but both times he's come out of the game, he looks extremely winded. At the line, Kettner. First free throw good. Second one in and out and back in again. Corey Kettner makes them both. All 4 of his points from the line. And the Mavericks extend their lead with 7 minutes left in the half. It's 33-22. Now DeVita backing in from the top of the key. Brings it back out on top to Ward. Left wing Bodette open from 18. That's good. The big guy Chris Bodette with that nice outside touch. His first 2. 33-24 Mavericks. Kettner to the right side. Pass comes to Hungerholt on the wing. Atop the circle, here's Coleman. Left side perimeter. With it there, Wald. Now at the high post, just beyond the free throw line, Mitchell. Les Mitchell, the starting power forward for the Mavs. On the right side wing, Hungerholt goes to the baseline, and then he drew the foul. As Hungerholt got a step on McDonald, and McDonald bodied up on him and was called for his first of the night. So that'll send Aaron Hungerholt to the free throw line to shoot the bonus. He has not yet scored tonight. Belka in for Kettner. Kettner will leave for the Mavericks. And Aaron Hungerholt, the Mavericks' most accurate free throw shooter going to the line. He's shooting 85% from the line this year, 22 of 26. Free throw, no good. And on the rebound, a foul on Joe Belka. He came over the back of Bodette, trying to knock that offensive rebound back out to one of his perimeter teammates. Belka's foul is his first of the night, and that will put the Huskies into the bonus. Number 7 on Mankato, and Bodette back at the other end will shoot a 1-and-1. Chris Bodette, one of the Huskies' tri-captains. Scott Springer is another, and we asked Springer what the Huskies' goals are for their remaining 5 games now in this NCC campaign.
I think we just need to gain momentum going into the playoffs, and obviously the better we play the next 5 games, the higher the seed we're going to get, which should give us a better matchup for the first round of the NCC tournament. So we're just basically looking forward to that, taking it 1 game at a time and looking ahead to the tournament and the highest seed we can get.
Scott Springer of the Huskies. Both free throws good by Bodette. 33-26, 4 straight by the Huskies. Mankato on transition, a pass to Mitchell, and he banks it in. Huskies got back well on the break, but Wald with a nice feed to Mitchell, who has 6, and it's 35-26 Mankato State. DeVita in the front court. Top of the circle, bounce pass to the high right edge of the paint, goes to Brown, back to DeVita on top. DeVita now to Bodette at the high post. Brown has it, 16-footer, swish. Nice touch on the outside, J by Travis Brown. He's got his second basket, 35-28 Mavericks. Huskies back to within 7. Coleman, left wing. Passes down low on the baseline. Here's Mitchell posting up Brown, and Mitchell's turnaround jumper is good. Third field goal, and 8 points now for Les Mitchell, 37-28. Mavericks reestablish the 9-point edge. DeVita across the midcourt stripe. Bounce pass McDonald, wide open. Left corner jumper is good. Rolled around and went down. First points tonight for Joel McDonald as he got 3.5 off that screen. There was nobody within 10 feet of him. 37-30 Mavericks. 5:20 left first half. Lob down low on the left box. Turnaround jumper. Mitchell no good. A monster offensive rebound by Mitchell, and he was fouled. Boy, Les Mitchell was sandwiched in between three Huskies, Bodette, Brown, and McDonald, and after he missed that initial shot, somehow he got the ball back and drew the foul. And that'll earn him 2 free throws. Foul was on Brown. First for Travis tonight. And Mitchell goes to the stripe. He's going to shoot 2. Free throw by Mitchell is short, no good. Mitchell, a 69% free throw shooter. A very active part of this Mankato State team, both off the bench and as a starter here of late with the injury to Kettner. Second free throw good. Mitchell makes 1 of 2. Dufault back in for the Mavericks, who now lead at 38-30. DeVita streaks ahead on his dribble. Stops on the right wing. Brings it back out on top. Brown passes in the lane, threads the needle to McDonald. His hanging jumper good. McDonald with a double pump as he was sandwiched between 2 Mavericks. Finally got it off and banked it in. That was a nice feed as well from out top by Brown. 38-32 Mankato State, under the 5-minute mark remaining first half. Springer back in for the Huskies. He's guarding Coleman left wing. Coleman dumps down low to Belka. His return pass intercepted by Springer. Gets it off for DeVita. Dina's in the front court. DeVita cuts to his left, still working the dribble. Fakes, now tries the 10-foot fadeaway and hit it. From the left baseline, DeVita going all the way to the basket. He's got his first 2, 4 straight for the Huskies. They're back to within 4, 38-34, 4.5 minutes on the clock. Coleman for the Mavericks in the front court. Looking inside, goes to the dribble, right wing into the lane, dishes for Belka, missed the lay-in. Rebound Coleman, his flat-footed putback won't go, and then the basketball bounces on the baseline, out of bounds, goes to St. Cloud State. Couple of semi-strange plays there. First it was Belka on the block who missed the layup. Looked like he might have been fouled. Then Coleman, unsuspecting in the lane, got the loose ball offensive board, came right to him, and he put it up flat-footed before he looked like he was ready to shoot. I think he tried to pull the trigger quickly so as to hopefully avoid the block shot. Huskies get it back. Chance to further trim this 4-point Maverick lead. Charnowski back in. He passes off for Brown. Off-balance layup attempt by Brown is no good, but he was fouled. Travis Brown, who was stationed at the high post, made his move down the lane and drew the foul from Mitchell. So Brown will go to the line. I believe this will be a 2-shot foul, although that could have been ruled on the drive. Second foul on Les Mitchell. 8 as a team now in the Mavericks. The Huskies have 9 team fouls. And this will be a 2-shotter for Travis Brown. Free throw, no good. Huskies, who are second in the NCC in free throw shooting this year, but they have been slumping a little bit at the line of late. Second free throw also no good by Brown. Rebound Mitchell. Late missed free throws were a big part of the reason that the Huskies lost to both South Dakota and North Dakota in their most recent games. Now Dan McCarroll wants a timeout for Mankato with 3:58 left to go in our first half. It's Mavericks 38, Huskies 34. Back with more after this.
His newest buffet-style restaurant.
The action at Hallenbeck off the Maverick timeout. 3:45 left first half. Mavs up by 4. They have the ball. Passing around the perimeter. Patient offensive attack right now for the Mavericks with 20 on the shot clock. Wald has it left wing. Works off a Belka pick. Wald down the lane. Pull up 10-footer is good. Wald off the Belka screen. Tom with his second basket. And Mankato leads it 40-34. Husky basketball on 98.1 FM, 98 Country. I'm John Schroeder from Hallenbeck Hall. Late stages of the first half, a first half in which the Huskies have never led. They currently trail by 6. Pass from Charnowski in the lane. McDonald, his muscle-up shot is no good as he bumped Dufault. And the Maverick fans on hand tonight don't like that call as Dufault fell to the floor. Trying to draw the offensive charge, but he did not get the call. Dufault instead has his first foul. And McDonald will shoot a pair. 3:10 left, 40-34 Mavs. We mentioned that McDonald Kesty, and Springer all in the top 10 for NCC free throw shooting percentage entering the week. Joel's free throw, no good. I better shut up here. I'm going to make it worse. Kesty 5th in free throw percentage in the league. Springer number 6 and McDonald number 7. 3 dribbles for Joel. Second free throw attempt good. 1 of 2 for McDonald. 5 points for him, and it's a 5-point Maverick lead now at 40-35. Just over 3 minutes to the half. Joe Belka, the big 6'9" center, into the front court. Passes off from Mitchell. Dufault to top the circle. Now Matt Potter, who's checked back in. He's got it to top the key as well. To Dufault, left side wing. Goes to the drive. Dufault down the lane. Shovels it back out. Here's Mitchell. Now to Wald. Wald's jumper partially blocked at the line. Rejected by DeVita on the loose ball. Recovered by Sharnowski. Ahead to Dino. He streaks across the midcourt line. DeVita clears it out for McDonald, who tries the long 3. That's no good. That drew Uzunaz from about 26 feet. Rebound Sharnowski. His putback from the paint won't go. And then a second rebound attempt, this time by Bodette. Draws a whistle as Bodette came over the back. And has his first foul tonight. That's 10 on the Huskies, so we will come back to the other end. And I believe it was Belka who was fouled. Whoever it was will get 2 shots. Mitchell will get a breather now. He'll hit the bench. And for the first time tonight, Todd Brenna checks in for the Mavericks. He's a 6'6" sophomore out of West Bend, Wisconsin. Scott Springer and Chad Gurman are back in for the Huskies. McDonald and Brown come out. Now they've got some conversation going on, as apparently Les Mitchell was the player over whose back Bodette came. Mitchell had left the game. Tom Wald was standing at the free throw line. Wald, a better free throw shooter, no doubt, 77% to Mitchell's almost 70%. They're going to make Mitchell come back into the game. And Brenna's going to have to wait a while before he checks back in. The Mavericks almost got away with that one, but the officials caught him at the last minute right before they handed the ball to Wald. So Les Mitchell now is at the stripe to shoot a pair. First one is good. Mitchell with 10 points. He's 4 of 5 so far from the line, and the Mavericks lead 41-35. Make it 42-35. Both free throws good by Mitchell. Now he'll leave, and Brenna will check in at the power forward for the Mavericks. MSU right now with Brenna to go along with Belka, Dufault, Wald, and Potter on the court. The Huskies with DeVita, Bodette, Springer, Sharnowski, and Gurman. Haug has it. High right side. Gets it off for Bodette. He's at the high left edge of the lane. Bo shovels it further out to Springer. On the right side wing, Springer still has it above his head. Now goes to the dribble against Potter. Springer to the basket and drew the foul. Nice move by Scott. He's got that explosiveness when he goes to the basket. He was able to spring past Potter on his move to the hole, and Potter is called for a reach. And that's 10 on the Mavericks, so now Springer will shoot 2. Sharnowski now will come out with 2:13 on the clock, and Brown is back in. And at the line will be Scott Springer. Now I'm going to let him shoot his free throws, and then I'll tell you after that how well he does it, all right? We'll see if we can avoid a jinx here. Huskies down by 7. Springer, the 5th-year senior, free throw is up and good. Well, maybe it works. You never know. One more coming for Springer. We'll try to shave the Maverick lead to 5. Second one up and good. All right, we're safe. Springer with a team leading 85% from the line. And in conference play, his 82% mark, as we mentioned, in the top 10 for league free throw shooters. Both of them good by Springer. His first 2 points. Now a whistle and a foul as the Mavericks begin to work it into their offense. And a foul on top on Gurman for a reach. His second foul. He fouled Dufault, who will go to the line now for the Mavericks. Monty Dufault, the Minnesota Twin farmhand, one of a group of ever-increasing 2 sport athletes playing college basketball and in this case pro baseball. His free throw good. Dufault, who last year set a Mankato State school record for three-pointers both attempted and made in a season. Last year, Dufault 12th in the NCC in scoring, 7th in steals. He led the league both in steals and in three-point percentage as a sophomore. So Dufault's been very active since early in his career. Second free throw, good. Monty with 12 so far, and the Mavericks lead 44-37, and even 2 minutes left. Dan Ward back into the game for St. Cloud State. He has it in the front court. Bounce pass to Beaudet. His pass errant. Brown has to chase it down way out on the right side. Brown guarded by Brenna. Hands it back off for Ward. Ward on the high right side, working his dribble. To the top of the key, Beaudet. Now to Brown. Had it knocked away, and Brenna called for the foul. Brenna reached in and tried for the clean poke away, but he was called for the reach. His first foul tonight. And Travis Brown will be at the line. Travis, who spent last year at Northland Community College in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. His free throw no good. A 1990 graduate of Cleveland Heights High School in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, which is a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. Second free throw also no good, and the Huskies' struggles from the line continue. 44-37, the Mavericks leading with 1:35 remaining first half as Wald brings it ahead. Goes past Ward, dumps it off. Right baseline jumper is in and out and back in again by Belka. He got the roll. 8 for Belka, 46-37 Mavericks. Huskies in the front court with Brown. Lobs down low. Beaudet is open, goes to the basket and missed it. His shot was rejected from behind. A great block. I believe it was Belka who got a hand on it as Beaudet was wide open, streaking in, but had his shot rejected. And here come the Mavs, up by 9. Wald on top, spins down the lane. The turnaround running jumper is good. Fine move by Wald. That's 6 straight for the Mavericks, and it's 48-37 Mankato State. Ward on top for the Huskies. Passes left on the perimeter to Beaudet, back to Ward between the circles. Now to Beaudet at the high post, standing at the free throw line, turns to the basket, rifles it underneath. Here's a cutting McDonald. He's got the ball and fouled by Potter. McDonald off a back screen on the right side, came underneath, and Beaudet found him from the free throw line. Got Joel in a position to either hit the layup or draw the foul, and the latter occurred. Foul on Potter, his second. And McDonald will shoot 2. Change at the point guard for the Huskies now. Ward out, DeVita in. 43 seconds left, first half. And the Huskies right now trailing by 11. This is as big as the Maverick lead has been all night. McDonald's charity attempt is good. 6 points for Joel, the Huskies' third leading scorer, coming in, averaging 10.6 in conference play. I should say 10.6 overall. McDonald's overall average this year. In league play, Joel averaging 11.7. Change for the Mavericks as Mike Woley comes in, a 6'1 sophomore guard out of Mankato. Woley in for the Mavericks as the second free throw by McDonald, no good. Shot clock deactivated. Now the Mavericks into the front court with half a minute remaining. They lead it by 10. Mankato passing around the perimeter, just trying to work the clock. 25 on the game clock. Dufault has it out near the timeline. Backing off on his dribble, 20 seconds left. McDonald giving Dufault plenty of berth as he just dribbles around on top. 15 seconds left. Dufault near the midcourt circle. Now he starts ahead. 10 seconds. Dufault spins in the lane. Got away with a walk. The running 8-footer dances and drops. Dufault with 14. 3 seconds left. Mavericks lead it by 12. DeVita into the front court. The running 30-footer by DeVita is no good as we hit halftime. And the Mavericks at intermission have their biggest lead of the night. It's Mankato State 50, St. Cloud State 38. And we'll summarize the first half in 2 minutes. Possession, there's the pass in, and we're underway with second half play. Ward passes in and gets a return pass. Danny Ward into the front court for St. Cloud State. Dumps it off for Joel McDonald on the left wing, back to Ward. Huskies back to their original starting lineup of those two, McDonald, Ward, along with Kramer, Sharnowski, and Beaudet. McDonald on the right side, passes out for Beaudet. Huskies begin the half down by 12, 50-38. Lob pass down low, Ward atop the key into Beaudet, and his turnaround jumper is good. Underneath the reverse layup for Sharnowski. He's got 12 to lead the Huskies, and they're back to within 10. Mavericks also back to their original starting 5. Dufault, Wald, Coleman, Belka, and Mitchell. And Les Mitchell has it on the left wing out to Monty Dufault. Joe Belka down low in the left corner, guarded by Sharnowski. Belka dribbles up the arc, out on top. The 6'7 center gets it off. On the wing to Wald, back out on top Coleman, looking in for Belka. Now Coleman goes to the floor with the dribble. Running 6-footer is good. Coleman banks it in from the right side off the glass. He has 6. That's 52-40 Mankato State. Sharnowski in the lane. Fall away, 8-footer, count it. Sharnowski with the first 2 St. Cloud State baskets this half. 52-42 Mankato State. A minute, 10 seconds into the second half. Lob pass, right side Coleman for Mitchell, knocked away by Charnowski out of bounds. Unless Mitchell and the Mavericks will keep it. Husky basketball comes your way on 98 Country. WWJO St. Cloud. Our producer tonight is Greg Erickson. From Hallenbeck Hall, I'm John Schroeder. Bounce pass in Coleman to Mitchell, back to Coleman, right corner. Coleman weaves his way down the baseline and had it knocked away in traffic. Recovered by Charnowski. Ahead to Ward. The Huskies looking for the break. Ward slows it up now. Passes down low, right side. Bodette had it cleanly blocked, got it back, missed the jumper. It was blocked by Belka, and then the loose ball recovered by McDonald. Clears it out for Ward. The Huskies with a recycled shot clock. 40 seconds left to shoot as Ward backs off near the timeline. Guarded by Dufault. Ward cross-court pass through the lane. Charnowski's turnaround jumper is good. Nice penetration and pass by Ward. Haug has all 6 points this half for the Huskies. They trail it by 8. 52-44. Pass in the lane. Belka off the feet from Wald. Cross-court pass. Belka knocked away by Kramer, but then Wald comes up with a steal for the Mavericks. Feeds underneath. Mitchell banks it in. So steals for both clubs. First Kramer, but then he passed off for the Huskies. Intercepted by Wald. Huskies and some of their fans thought there was a foul on Wald. He got away with it. Got it off for Mitchell, who hit the layup. Now Ward, his driving layup, right side, no good. Rebound is tapped up and in by Bodette, but it will not count. Our official, Pat Bauschelt, waves it off as Bodette ruled to come over the back. He picks up his second foul, the first on either team this half. Bodette with the foul, no basket on that putback shot by Bull. 54-44, Mankato State on top. They've got the basketball. Dufault brings it ahead. Pulls up, shoots from 12. That's off the back rim, no good. Shooting over Ward, but the long rebound controlled by Belka for the Mavs. Joe Belka passes out on top to Wald. Now to Dufault, standing in the midcourt circle. Monty Dufault dribbling against Ward. Dufault goes between the legs, cuts down the lane, kicks it back out on the wing. Here's Coleman, dribbles in the paint. Coleman's pull-up 8-footer off the back rim, out of bounds. Foul on Coleman. He went after the loose ball after he missed his shot and fouled Bodette. First foul on the Mavericks this half is number 3 as an individual against starting small forward Pat Coleman, who's shaking his head and doesn't agree with the call. And I have to agree with Coleman there. It looked like it was a pretty innocent play as he and Bodette went after the ball. No damage down, out of bounds. It would have been Husky ball anyway, but they called a foul. Ward's in the front court for the Huskies. Out high, pass comes to Kramer. He got it in the lane. Bodette shot completely rejected by Mitchell. A spectacular block by Les Mitchell. And the Mavericks break back the other way. Coleman down the left baseline, bangs with 2 Huskies underneath, lost the ball, and recovered by Kramer. Hands it off for Ward. And Ward pushes it ahead across the midcourt stripe. Bounce pass to Charnowski. Out to Kramer, three-pointer, blocked by Mitchell. Second time down court that Mitchell's come up with the rejection. He's the team leader in blocks for Mankato with 24 now in the year. And the Mavericks come back. Mitchell on the right side, turnaround 6-footer is good. Crawled over the rim. Belka went up as the ball was still in the cylinder and tried to hammer it down. I think the officials ruled it was already down. That was going to go down. Basket by Mitchell. Now Ward tries the driving layup right. Baseline won't go. Rebound out of bounds. Goes to Mankato State, and the Huskies want a timeout. Well, the fans are shaking their heads right now at Mankato State, and the Mavericks are rolling. They equal their biggest lead right now. Mankato State 56, St. Cloud State 44. 16-15 left, and we'll return after this. 15 left in regulation. 56-44. Mankato State leading St. Cloud State off the Husky timeout. Full court pressure by the Huskies, and a near steal as Wald was trapped in the near side corner, backcourt against that pressure. Charnowski and McDonald had him pinned in, but Wald's attempted pass went off of Charnowski's leg out of bounds. So Mankato will keep it and try to pass in once again. Belka looking to get it in. Deflected pass and intercepted. Charnowski got a hand on it to Kramer, to McDonald. A 3 is good. So that full court pressure pays off for the Huskies with a big turnover. 9 for McDonald off that three-pointer. 56-47 Mankato State. Dufault in the front court. Left side wing. Passes off from Matt Potter, who's back in. Now to the high post. Belka spins in the lane. Had it stolen away from the weak side by Ward. Ward starts a 3-on-2 break. Ward stops at the line. Passes off Kesty. His lean-in jumper from the lane, no good. Rebound, Charnowski. Putback is good. Haug banks it in off the glass, off a fadeaway jumper. 5 in a row for the Huskies. Charnowski with 18 on the evening. And it's 56-49 Mankato State. There's Dufault in the front court now for the Mavericks. Works in the lane, backing in on his dribble. Had it knocked away, it's tied up. Jump ball is called. It'll go to Mankato on the alternate. But that's a good sign. The Huskies with some big defense here. Held ball situation there after the steal on a full court pressure situation, and also a Ward steal and half-court defense. Huskies picking it up a bit on defense. Butch Raymond may have had a talking to his team. Now an official's timeout. There's a piece of debris out on the court, and one of the officials picks it up. And now it'll be a Mankato pass, and the Mavericks in their front court. Joe Belka gets it in for Tom Wald, the sophomore guard. Wald and Ward, Danny Ward, the two top newcomers on the perimeter, undoubtedly last year in the NCC. Wald almost traveled, passes off in the corner, gets a return pass. Dufault now on the right wing to Potter. He dribbles from the top of the key down the left edge of the lane, then brings it back out. Potter to Dufault, top of the circle to Wald. He cuts down the lane, running jumper is off the back bracket, no good. Rebound Charnowski. Off to Ward, here come the Huskies. Ward up the right sidelines, into the front court. Mavericks get back quickly, so the Huskies set it up in their half-court offense. St. Cloud State down by 7. They've trailed by as many as 12. McDonald, right side wing, tries to spin by Potter. Defense too tight. Pass in the lane. Kesty, the running hook is good. It'll count, and he was fouled. Mitchell reached in, picking up his third foul. And Kesty with a chance for the three-point play. A basket each half for Greg Kesty. And the Huskies, who have now scored 7 in a row, have trimmed the Maverick lead to 5. Corey Kettner back in for Mankato. Mitchell will leave with 14:39 left. And Greg Kesty at the line trying to complete successfully a three-point play. Free throw by Greg is spun up and good. 8 in a row by the Huskies. 56-52. Full court pressure. Mankato leading by 4, and they get it into the front court on a long pass ahead to Kettner. Hands it off behind him to Monty Dufault. Mavericks leading scorer so far tonight with 14. Dufault. Walled on top. Dufault, left side wing. Cross court to Potter. He's near the right hash mark. Potter to the high post. Kettner. He's beyond the top of the circle. Now Dufault works off a Kettner pick. Dufault down the lane. Dishes. Belka whistle and a foul. Belka got the pass, but Dufault on his move down the lane was fouled prior to getting rid of the ball by Charnowski. Dufault was triple teamed as he made his penetration. And Charnowski called for his second of the night. Team fouls are 2 aside this half. Charnowski now will leave. Travis Brown comes in at the power forward for St. Cloud State. Baseline pass incoming for the Mavericks. Potter whips it way out on top to Wald. He's out near the timeline. Wald guarded by McDonald. Wald passes off left wing. Potter has it above his head. Looks to the lane. Brings it back out on top to Dufault. Between the circles. Dufault now guarded by McDonald on the switch. Dufault backing off on his dribble, holding his left hand in the air, holding 2 fingers aloft to set a play. Belka comes out to get it. Belka left side. Dufault way out on the right wing. Now to Wald. He's open for a 3. That's off the iron. No good. Rebound tap to the side. Potter has it. And his fall-away jumper from the baseline is good. Potter got the loose ball as he was falling out of bounds and hit the 10-footer. 58-52 Mavericks. That ends the string of 8 in a row by the Huskies. Brown has it. Right side turnaround jumper off the backboard and rim, but Brown was fouled. Belka whistled. His second of the night. Team fouls are now 3 against the Mavericks, and that'll put Travis Brown at the line to shoot 2. St. Cloud State in the first half, 9 of 16 from the foul line. That's 56%, and that's simply not good enough in this kind of competition for the Huskies, who again have been kind of an on and off foul shooting team here the last 2 or 3 outings. Brown's at the line right now. His free throw is good. Travis making another solid contribution off the bench tonight for the Huskies. He's got 7 points. His season high was 10 against Bemidji State. In conference play, Brown's best effort 6 against North Dakota, so this is a new NCC high for Travis. Second free throw also good. He makes them both. 58-54. St. Cloud State down by 4. Against the pressure, Wald able to break it as he dribbles up the left side into the front court. Leaves it for Potter. A drop pass. Three-pointer by Potter is in and out. No good. Rebound Brown, and he is mugged underneath by Kettner. Travis Brown had definite defensive rebounding position on that particular play, and Kettner came over his head and shoulders. Kettner's foul, his second, 4th on the Mavericks. It'll be a pass in for the Huskies. St. Cloud State has scored 10 of the last 12 points in this game to draw to within 4. Ward out on top, works off a Kesty pick, dumps it off for Greg now atop the circle, back out to Danny. And Ward, the sophomore point guard, goes to his left. Down the lane, backing in. Passes back out. Kesty takes a dribble, shoots the 14-foot runner. No good. Kesty got the offensive board and fouled. Well, the Huskies have definitely stepped it up a notch right now. They've just picked up their intensity on both ends of the court. A foul on Kettner, his second in about 20 seconds against Corey. Team fouls are now 5-2 with Mankato State on the heavy end. And at the free throw line will be Greg Kesty after a timeout by Mankato State. 12:58 left. It's 58-54 Mavericks, but the Huskies are rallying. We'll return in 1 minute. Both nights, 7:30 here on 98 Country. We'll be on the air from the Elman Center in Sioux Falls on Friday and from the Frost Arena in Brookings Saturday night for Husky basketball. St. Cloud State's final 2 road games of the regular season. Greg Kesty at the line for the Huskies, and his free throw is good. Kesty's 5th point. And one more coming. And it's good, and the Huskies are back to within 2. Full court pressure by St. Cloud State as they're down now 58-56. Mavericks break the pressure. They're into the front court. Kettner is open for a 3. Barely grazed the rim. Rebound, though, by Belka. However, he stepped out of bounds. So St. Cloud State gets it back. Maverick lead, which was 12 points about 3.5 minutes into this second half, is now down to 2. Huskies have come alive. 12:40 left. McDonald in the front court. Out to Ward. Danny Ward beyond the top of the circle. Cuts to his left. Tries the running jumper under duress. Partially blocked. No good. Rebound tapped up and off by Kesty. Off balance putback effort by Gregg wouldn't go. Rebound Mankato. Wald pushes it ahead. Dufault's 3. That's good. That's a crowd quieter. Monty Dufault on the left wing nails the 3. And it's 61-56 Mankato State. Kramer in the front court. Out to Kesty. Left edge of the three-point arc. Brings it back to Kramer. Now on top to Ward. Here's Brown atop the circle, underneath to a cutting Kramer, who's wide open to bank it in. Turnaround jumper, first field goal by Stuart Kramer. He's got 5. 61-58 Mankato State. Just under 12 minutes left in regulation. Wald has it right side perimeter, puts up the 3, top of the circle, count it. A trifecta for Tommy Wald, his first of the night. He shoots 37% from that range. Wald with 9. 64-58 Mavericks. A bit of breathing room for Mankato as they've gotten 3s each of the last time down the court. Last 2 times by Wald and Dufault. Ward has it on his right side dribble on the arc. Passes in the lane. Kesty spins left, now right. Can't get the shot off under coverage from Kettner, and so Kesty brings it back out on top. Ward back to Kesty at the free throw line. Off to Kramer. 16-foot turnaround. Partially blocked out on top by Potter. And the loose ball comes to Mankato. That ball barely grazed the rim, and I'm almost positive Potter got a fingertip on it. Mavericks with that ever so tight defense come back the other way now into their offensive end. Wald dribbling out to near the timeline as he slows it up a bit now for the Mavericks. Kettner, left wing, passes underneath over the head of Belka, out of bounds. Turnover, Mankato State. And then Kettner turns and talks to Dan McCarroll on the bench as Danny was not getting on his player, just giving him some instruction. Backcourt passing now for St. Cloud State. Huskies are down by 6 with 10:50 on the clock. Joel McDonald has it on the left side wing. Shovels it off for Gurman, who's just checked in. His 3 is in and out from the top of the key. And the rebound by Dufault as he out-jumped Charnowski on that play. Dufault with some position, but still an impressive rebound for the Maverick guard against the Huskies' top rebounder. Pass in the lane. Here's Mitchell with his turnaround power move, and he was fouled. Charnowski called for the block. 3rd foul on Haug, 3rd on the Huskies as a team. And that'll place Lester Mitchell at the free throw line. 10:32 left, second half, and Les Mitchell goes to the stripe. Les had 11 points in the first half, including 5 of 6 free throws. He's added 2 baskets this half. So he's doing a great job scoring-wise for the Mavericks. Free throw won't go. Front rim, back rim, and came out. One more coming for Lester Mitchell. That one's good. So 16 now for Mitchell. Dufault leads the way with 17 for the Mavs. It's 65-58 Mankato State. Charnowski on the right baseline, double teamed, rifles it back out on top to McDonald. He fakes a pass, goes down the lane, tries the 6-foot runner and hit it. McDonald woefully off balance, but somehow it went down. He's got a knack of doing that. Joel with 11. 65-60 Mavericks. Mankato in the front court. Mitchell way out on the left side. Looking in, brings it instead back out on top. Potter. Now to Wald with 10 minutes left. Wald throws it errantly through the lane, but it's chased down in the left corner by Belka. His pass comes back out on top. Potter hands it off for Dufault between the circles, and Monty will set a new play. 20 left to shoot. Dufault backing in against Ward. Turnaround off balance. 14-footer, dances and drops. Dufault got the roll, but boy, he's so good at that. 67-60 Mavericks. Here's McDonald now. His left baseline move. Nothing there. Kicks it back out. Kesty in the lane to Sharnowski, and his jump hook goes down. Haug with 10 each half. 5 field goals each half of play. Sharnowski with 20 to lead the Huskies. They're back to within 5. 67-62. Dufault backing in now against Ward once again. Now Wald has it right wing to the right baseline. Follow-away jumper by Belka. Count it. Joe Belka, first 2 this half. He's got 10 on the night. 69-62 as the lead seesaws from 5 to 7. Now it's a Maverick 7-point lead. Sharnowski powers it up and in and through the foul. Sharnowski got the pass on the right block from Ward. Belka overcommitted. That left Sharnowski free. Haug sliced to the bucket, and Potter, trying to help out, picked up the foul. Third foul on Matt Potter. Sharnowski gets credit for the basket and a chance for the three-point play. Sharnowski now with 11 field goals. That's got to be close to a season high this year, both for the Huskies and Haug. You figure that you're going to get some points, especially a guy like Sharnowski from the line. But to this point, all of Haug's scoring has come via the field goal. 5 in the first half, 6 now in the second. He's got 22. He's 5 short of the 1,000-point mark. And a free throw by Haug is up and short, no good. Whistle and a lane violation, it looks like, against Mankato. Looks like it was Les Mitchell cutting into the lane too soon. So Haug will get another attempt. 69-64. Sharnowski back at the line. Takes his customary 2 dribbles. Dips at the knees. Free throw is up and off the back rim this time. First one was too short. That one too long by Sharnowski. Rebound Mankato with 9 minutes left. Mavericks lead it by 5. They're in the front court. Pat Coleman back in the game. He's got it on the left side. Dufault wide open for a 3. Rims out. No good. Rebound McDonald on the left side. He'll get it off for Ward. Here come the Huskies looking for the break. Ward ahead to Brown. Left wing. He dribbles to the lane. Cross-court pass. Gurman open. 3 if it counts. No. Short off the rim on that low right wing jumper. And Joe Belka one-hands the rebound for the Mavericks. Leaves it for Wald, and Tom Wald will slowly dribble ahead into the front 48 feet for Mankato State. Mitchell, left side wing, looking in for Belka, posting up against Sharnowski. Not open, passes back out to Coleman. Now to Dufault, 3-pointer, short. Rebound Mitchell in the lane against Sharnowski. Puts it back up, missed the shot, but fouled by Brown. Travis has his second team foul, 6 this half on the Mavericks. That was number 4 on the Huskies. And Mitchell will go back to the line. Lesnar Mitchell is a very athletic player at about 6'6", maybe 6'7". Because of his athleticism, a little bit tough for the Huskies to match up with. Great jumper, a member of the Mankato State track and field team, qualified for the NCAA Division II outdoor track and field national meet in the high jump back in 1990. He'll be at the line now to shoot 2. Attended Rushford High School, along with Mankato State teammate Aaron Hungerholt. And also on that those Rushford teams of 2-3 years ago was Augustana's fine point guard Dana Grimsrud. Those 3 helped Rushford to a Class A state championship. Mitchell misses both free throws here. Missed them both. So the Huskies get it back. Still down by 5. DeVita is into the game for St. Cloud State. Kesty open for a 17-footer and hit it. From the left wing, Kesty, his second basket this half. He's got 5 on the half, 7 on the night. Huskies have cut the lead to 3. 69-66, just under 8 minutes left. Mankato State with Hungerholt back in the game. He's got it in the right wing. Kettner's also come back in. Dufault, left side perimeter, looking into the lane, passes down low. Coleman working against DeVita. DeVita tried to knock it away, but called for the foul. The Huskies were in a mismatch there on a switch. The 6'6" Pat Coleman working against DeVita, and DeVita called for the reach. His first foul, 5th on the Huskies. It was on the drive, so it'll be a pass in from the baseline. And Pat Coleman, the redshirt freshman out of Mankato, will pass it in now for the Mavs. Coleman guns it out on top for Hungerholt. Mavericks with the ball and a 3-point lead. 7:35 left, clock running. As Hungerholt dribbling on top. Passes now to Coleman. Pat Coleman working against Kramer this time. Goes to his dribble, still on the right wing. Kramer cuts him off. Coleman brings it back on top to Hungerholt. Aaron backs off on his dribble now for the Mavericks. Holds up one finger to signify a play with 20 on the shot clock. Hungerholt working against Gurman. Down the lane past Gurman. Dishes, knocked out of bounds. And stays with Mankato, as I believe it was DeVita who last touched it. It'll be a pass in now for Mankato to the left of their basket on the baseline. Coleman looking, still looking, gets it in for Mitchell. Try to return pass for Coleman. Knocked away out of bounds by Kramer. But after Stewart deflected it, it was touched by Coleman. Good defense by Kramer. Basketball goes back to Mankato State. I should say the Huskies get it back now after the Mavericks lose it. 7 minutes left. DeVita into the front court. St. Cloud State down by 3. DeVita spins down the paint. His layup attempt blocked out of bounds by Kettner. DeVita got by his man Hungerholt, but as he went for the underhand shovel, Kettner came over and rejected it away. He'll stay with the Huskies. Gurman will pass in. Chad from to the right of his basket on the baseline brings it out to Kramer. On top now, DeVita. Back to Gurman. Turnaround, quick release, 18-footer, in and out, won't go. And the rebound taken by Coleman. Outlet right comes to Dufault, and Monty Dufault comes into the front court for the Mavericks. He's picked up immediately by DeVita on the right side. Dufault passes down low. Mitchell traveled. Good call as Mitchell was preparing to make a spin move against Kesty, but you could just see the feet shuffling. And Mitchell turns it over for the Mavericks. Travis Brown leads now, and Charnowski comes back in for the Huskies. Getting to crunch time, folks. 6:30 on the clock. 69-66, Mankato State. Charnowski on top. Feeds for Kesty atop the circle. Out of Kramer, right side wing. Kramer guarded by Coleman. Mavericks have gone exclusively man-for-man all night, and as usual, it's been tough, their defense. DeVita back out on top between the circles. 20 left to shoot. Now Charnowski at the high post, waiting for a cutting Gurman, who takes the handoff on the top of the key. Gurman feeds back to Charnowski, dumps it off left wing. Here's Kramer, fadeaway 16-footer, banked it off the board and rim, no good. Rebound Dufault, he'll bring it ahead himself. Dufault down the lane for the Mavericks, dishes for Mitchell. His shot partially blocked as he goes to the basket, drew the foul. Mitchell on the left side went to the hole aggressively, and Kesty picked up the foul. Mitchell will shoot 2. Kesty has his third. Team fouls are 6 each now. Wald and Belka back in for the Mavericks. Kettner and Coleman will hit the bench. Gurman and DeVita lead for the Huskies, and St. Cloud State's starting backcourt of McDonald and Ward check back in. Danny Ward, who leads the NCC in assists coming into this weekend. Ward is 10th in all of Division II in assists, averaging 7.6 per game. The national leader, Dimitri Bateman of Assumption College, is averaging 11.4 assists per game. So Ward is not even close to national honors. St. Cloud State's Scott Springer 18th in the nation in free throw percentage. And also looking at the National Division II statistics, Mankato State is 13th in the land for scoring defense. Huskies on the break score, and a long pass ahead to Kramer, who hits the layup. And now a traveling call against Mankato State. To recap, Mitchell made 1 of 2 free throws. Hit the first end of the bonus, missed the second. The Huskies quickly pushed it down court. Kramer made the fast break layup, and then Ward, putting the pressure on Wald, forced the traveling violation and the turnover. So the Huskies are back to within 2. 70-68, Ward will pass in from the baseline. St. Cloud State has never led in this ballgame. They've gotten to within 2 once at 58-56. McDonald tries a 3, off the rim, no good. Rebound loose. Mitchell, tight-roping the end line, is able to save it for the Mavericks. Gets it off for Wald. Here come the Mavericks now in the front court, leading by 2 with 5:20 left, and now Mankato wants to talk about it. They take a timeout. Crowds into it, 5:21 left. 70-68 Mankato State, and we'll return to Hallenbeck Hall after this. The second half. The Huskies have twice cut the lead to 2 points, including right now. They're down by 2 as the Mavericks pass in off their timeout. St. Cloud State never leading in this ballgame. Coleman has it right side, passes down to the baseline. Joe Belka's running, one-hander won't go. The rebound is torn off the iron by Sharnowski for the Huskies. Hands it off to Ward. St. Cloud State front court to Sharnowski. Takes 2 dribbles, pull-up jumper, good, and we're tied. 70 aside on the jump shot by Sharnowski. Here come the Mavericks now in the front court. Dufault, left wing. Dishes down low to Belka. Sharnowski between Belka and the basket. Belka brings it back out on top to Mitchell. Top of the circle. Lester Mitchell dribbles and then passes to Coleman on the wing. Now to Wall. Top of the circle. Running 15-footer. Good. Nothing but net on a tough shot by Tom Wald. He's got 11. And the Mavericks regain the lead 72-70. Ward has it. Beyond the top of the key for the Huskies, working out the Kesty pick. Now Ward bounces it down low. Sharnowski had it knocked out of his hands by Belka, who will be whistled for the foul, his third. That's 7 on Mankato, but this one should be a 2-shot foul for Sharnowski, who has 24 points now for the Huskies. Sharnowski, who has really come on as a scorer here in recent games for St. Cloud State. He had 25, which equaled a season high on Tuesday in the loss to North Dakota. 16 last Saturday in the loss to South Dakota. 13 against Morningside. But in some previous games, Haug really pouring on the points. Sharnowski's first free throw here is good. And the Huskies back to within 1. Haug had 20 in a recent game here at home against Nebraska-Omaha. 25 the night before in a victory over Northern Colorado. So Haug has brought his scoring average up to 14.2 per game. And a second free throw is good. Both of them good by Sharnowski, who has 26 points. He has 999 now in his career, and we're tied at 72. Backcourt pressure. Dufault able to dribble through the double team screen in the backcourt. Gets the pass off, and the Mavericks are into the front court. Coleman has the top of the circle. Passes on the wing after penetrating to Mitchell. Back out on top. Here's Wall. Under 4 minutes left. Deadlocked at 72. Wall just dribbling out near the timeline. Working the clock, 20 on the shot clock. Now Wald comes ahead, working against Gurman. Cuts to his left, down the lane, dishes. Left baseline, Belka open for a moment. Now he's covered. Kicks it back out. Coleman to Wald in the right wing. Wald dribbles off a moving screen. Puts it off from 16. No good. It crawls out of there. Rebound Ward. 4-on-2 break. Ward feeds for Sharnowski, but the pass was a half a stride too long and out of bounds. But Butch Raymond will take that. The Huskies had a nice break. Ward led Sharnowski just a tad too much. He pulled the worm out of the bass's mouth before he hit. And the Huskies turn it over. But a nice looking break. Pass in, deflected, gets to Coleman, and now the Huskies will drop back into their half court man for man. Mavericks with the ball. We're tied at 72 as Wald on top. Working against Ward. Now Wald cuts to his right. Passes back out. Coleman bumps with Ward. No call. Passes to Wald. His jumper good. A three-pointer from the low right wing by Tom Wald, who's hit a couple of clutch trays this half. He has 8 this half. 14 on the night for Wald. 75-72 Mankato State. Huskies with McDonald. His three is off the back bracket. Offensive board. Sharnowski knocked out of his hands, and a foul called on Dufault. That's only the second foul tonight on Dufault, a guy who very rarely gets into foul trouble. Sharnowski now will shoot the bonus. Haug Sharnowski right now with 26 points. He needed 27 in this ballgame to hit 1,000 for his career, so he could do it at the line right here. He would also draw the Huskies to within 1. The official holding the ball for Sharnowski, who was, I believe, retying the string on his shorts and having a few words with Haug as he now sets up at the line and prepares to shoot the foul shot. Free throw up and good, and there it is, 1,000 points for Sharnowski. 75-73 in favor of Mankato State. So Haug, now in his 4th year with the Huskies, 5th year in the program, 4th year as an active player, has hit the 1,000-point mark. He likely will finish his career as St. Cloud State's second all-time leading rebounder. Probably will be in the top 20 in scoring as well. Now into 4 figures. Second free throw rolls and drops. That's a season high for Sharnowski, a career high with 28. St. Cloud State down by 1, 75-74. Dufault pushes the issue now for Mankato into the front court. Reverses it back out on top. Wald has it with 2:40 on the clock. Huskies down by 1. Wald top the circle. Backing in against Ward. Danny stays with him. Passes off for Dufault. He dribbles to the free throw line and then backs off. Now Dufault still backing up on his dribble out to near the timeline. 20 seconds left to shoot. Dufault against Ward. Ward stripped him. Knocked it away. The ball is loose at midcourt. Recovered by Dufault. And then he is fouled by Sharnowski and Held knew it. He reached in and Sharnowski picks up his 4th, and that's number 7 on the Huskies, so the Mavericks are into the bonus. Boy, a near turnover as Ward did a great job to cleanly knock that one away from Dufault, but it wasn't to be. Dufault, a 77% free throw shooter for his Mankato State career, and on his current pace at 3.1 free throws made per game, he has a shot at the school's all-time free throw made mark. In other words, successful free throws, and he makes his first one here. The all-time record, Tim Wald, who played from 1977 to 81 with the Mavericks, made 278 free throws, and Dufault is closing in on that record. Both free throws good by Dufault to make it 77-74 with 2:20 left. Dufault has 21 tonight for the Mavericks. Huskies down by 3. Sharnowski in the front court. Passes off to Gurman. 2 steps beyond the top of the key, guarded by Dufault. Now to McDonald on the right side perimeter. McDonald off to Ward. Slices down the lane on the drive. The shovel layup is good. First 2 of the night for Danny Ward, and the Huskies are back to within 1. 77-76, just under 2 minutes left. Clock running with 1:53 left to go. Here's Wald in the front court. Whistle and a foul on Ward. Blocking foul on Ward as he slid into Wald. 3rd on Ward, and Wald now will shoot the bonus. And we'll have a timeout taken here by St. Cloud State. Each team now with 3 timeouts taken, so they each have 2 left in regulation time. 1:51 on the clock. Mankato 77, St. Cloud 66, and we're back after this. From the Hellenbeck Hall fans. Now off the timeout, 1:51 left in regulation. Wald at the line for the Mavericks. They lead it by 1. He's shooting a 1-and-1. Free throw, good. This guy's a clutch performer for just a sophomore, folks. He plays so well. 9 this half, 15 on the night for Wald, who averages 12 per game. He's a 77% free throw shooter. One more coming. Final in women's basketball. St. Ben's beats St. Thomas today, 66-60. Second free throw also good by Wald, and it's back to a 3-point Maverick edge. 1:50 left, 79-76. Ward and the Huskies in the front court. Bounce pass Kesty, high post. Sharnowski has it. Beyond the lane, pass in. McDonald wide open, banks it in. Potter gambled for the steal, didn't get it. McDonald banks it in. He has 13, and it's back to a 1-point lead. 79-78, Mankato on top with the ball, 1:30 left. Across the timeline comes Wald, working against Ward. Down the lane, Wald pulls up, 10-footer off the rim, no good. Rebound Sharnowski. 1:20 left. Ward passes in the front court, deflected, gets to McDonald. Back out to Ward. Sharnowski has it at the high post. Looking in, passes off Kesty, left side. Bounce pass cross court, intercepted by Dufault. Dufault all by himself, banks it up and in. Kesty telegraphed that pass to McDonald. Dufault was there for the steal and the layup. Dufault with 23, pass in. Sharnowski, his shot rejected out of bounds by Mitchell. A soaring block by Lester Mitchell. What a block. They'll stay with the Huskies. 52 seconds left. Pass in, right baseline. Gurman gets it in for McDonald. Out to Ward. Huskies are down by 3. Ward will try a 3. That's off the rim, no good. Ward shooting over Wald, had a good shot, and Danny is a good 3-point shooter. He doesn't take a lot, but he's a high percentage man. Missed it. Rebound Mankato. 38 seconds left. Wald is fouled by Ward in the backcourt with 36 seconds on the clock. That is 9 fouls against St. Cloud State. 4th foul on Ward, so Wald will shoot the bonus. And now a timeout will be taken. This timeout, I believe, by St. Cloud State. Let's see. Timeout taken by the Huskies. 36 seconds left. 81-78. Mankato State. Stand by. We'll return after this. All important free throw coming for Tom Wald. 81-78. Mankato. Maverick sophomore at the line. Free throw good. Oh, man, it rattled, but fell. And Wald gets the bonus. That's his 17th point. He and Mitchell have 17 each. Dufault leads the way with 23 for Mankato. One more coming, trying to give his team a 5-point lead. 36 seconds left, second half. Second free throw good. 83-78. Here come the Huskies, down by 5. Half a minute left. McDonald on the left wing. Bounce past Gurman. His three-point effort knocked out of his hands. The loose ball was out of bounds. And Wald nearly came up with the loose ball, but it went out of bounds. So to stay with the Huskies, 25 seconds left. St. Cloud State needs a quick three-pointer and a timeout. Pass in coming for Ward to Gurman. He'll try it from 25 feet. Hit him. And a timeout taken. Gurman worked off a double screen. Nailed that shot. Oh, man, that one came from the stratosphere. Gurman with 8. That cuts the lead to 2, and a timeout taken by the Huskies. Their final timeout with 21 seconds left. 83-80. Mankato State. Huskies are still alive. Assuming that Dan McCarroll brings the same 5 players out into the court, you're looking at Dufault, Wald, Potter, Belka, and Mitchell. And of those, Potter is the poorest free throw shooter at 50%, 8 of 16. Mankato is a pretty good free throw shooting team, 70% on the year, to the Huskies 72%. The thing about the Mavericks, again, that strikes you is their defense, holding opponents to 42% shooting from the field, 36% from three-point range. They are among the top Division II teams defensively, both in terms of how they hold down your field goal percentage and how they hold you down scoring-wise, and they've done that again tonight to the Huskies. Back to the action now. It will be a baseline pass, and Potter will pass it in against, as you would guess, man-for-man full-court pressure. 21 seconds left. Mankato leads by 2. Backcourt pass, and Potter looking for the home run ball. Whistle on foul. Before Potter inbounded the pass, Ward was called for a block. Ward tried to cut off Wald, who was trying to run to the passer, and Ward is called for the foul. That's his 5th. So Ward fouls out. And before Ward leaves, he's going to give his teammate Joel McDonald a slap on the backside. Ward is not yet aware that he has fouled out of this game. He's still standing in the backcourt. DeVita will come in for Ward eventually. Wald will be at the line. And that was 10 fouls. That's number 10 on the Huskies, so Wald will shoot 2. Ward now comes out, DeVita in. Ward gets a hand from the fans. Danny finishes with 2 points tonight. 3rd time this year that he has fouled out of a game. 83-81, Mankato State. 21 seconds left in regulation, and Wald is shooting a double. Tom Wald is in a big second half. Free throw, good. 13 this half for Wald, 19 on the night, 1 more coming. The lead is 3. This is a crucial free throw for Wald. Second free throw. No good. In and out. Rebound Charnowski. 20 seconds left. The Huskies have life. Into the front court. DeVita cuts right to left on his dribble to McDonald on the left wing. Bounce pass. Here's Gurman. Right wing. 3 if it counts. No. Off the back bracket. Rebound. Charnowski has it. Banks it up and in. 6 seconds left. Huskies are back to within 1. We've got a whistle. An official's timeout. As I don't know if somebody called a timeout for St. Cloud State. Somebody, I believe, called a timeout for the Huskies. And if I have counted correctly, that's 1 more than they had, and it would be a technical foul on St. Cloud State. Charnowski with the putback basket is 29th and 30th points tonight to make it an 84-83 Mankato State lead. Then the officials whistled play down. And it's a technical foul on St. Cloud State, as apparently one of the Huskies called timeout. somebody called a timeout with the Huskies having no more timeouts. They had taken all 5 of their timeouts. So at the line, Wald, free throw, good. Oh, that's tough. Wald's got one more coming. Mavericks lead now by 2, and keep in mind they'll get the possession. Second free throw, also good by Wald. 21 for Wald. And now the Mavericks, who have 2 timeouts left, will take one here with 5 seconds left to go. They lead it by 3, and they've got a pass and a possession coming in. A pass in when we return. Let's take a 30-second timeout. Mavericks up 86-83 back after this. Wald, Dufault, Potter, and Belka. Mid-court pass in, 6 seconds left. Mavs lead by 3. Hungerhold gets it in for Potter, and he's going to run away from the attention in the backcourt. Potter falls down. Potter fell on the sidelines and turns it over with 3 seconds left. Potter ran into the backcourt on his dribble, just trying to work the clock. Charnowski took a swipe at him. The officials ruled no foul. Potter fell down on the sidelines. He turned it over with 3 seconds left. The Huskies will pass it in. About 25 feet away from the basket, the Mavericks will take their final timeout. What a bizarre play. Unbelievable. Either way, the Huskies were in a good situation there. As we mentioned, Matt Potter, of the players on the court, is the poorest free throw shooter that Mankato State had in the game. Only a 50% foul shooter this year, 8 of 16. So it was a matter of whether the Huskies could run him down before time expired. Potter got the pass in from midcourt and ran away from his team's basket, ran into the backcourt, did a big circle trying to milk the clock. Charnowski came after him, took a swipe at him, trying to get the foul, apparently missed it. It looked like there was a slight amount of contact, but not enough for the officials to call the foul. But Potter lost his balance and slid to the floor along the far sidelines in St. Cloud State's front court, killing the clock and giving the ball to the Huskies with 3 seconds left to play. So St. Cloud State is still alive. The Huskies down by 3. Butch Raymond and his team huddling, trying to plot strategy necessary to get off one last three-point shot that could send us to overtime. Mavericks have led this entire ballgame. They've been tied twice at 70 and 72. But Mankato State's inability to put the Huskies away has kept St. Cloud State alive. The ball will be inbounded by Gurman on the far sidelines. John Evans into the game. Huskies have 4 3-point shooters in there. Evans, Gurman, McDonald, and DeVita. It'll be DeVita to pass in. DeVita looks to get it in. Still looks, gets it in for McDonald. 2 seconds, 1 second. McDonald fakes, shoots, and missed it. No good as the buzzer sounds, and Mankato State wins. McDonald got a decent shot, and he missed it just barely. Tried to bank it in from the left wing off the backboard, and Ramick came out of there as the buzzer sounded. And the Mavericks have a heart-stopping 86-83 victory over St. Cloud State. We'll take a break and wrap it up after this. Finished tonight at Hallenbeck Hall as Mankato State pulls out an 86-83 victory over the Huskies in front of what I would guesstimate to be about 2,500 fans tonight who were treated to a good one, especially in the second half. Sometimes lethargic first half for St. Cloud State as the Huskies were down by 12 at intermission. It was 50-38 Mankato State at halftime as the Mavericks scoring the most points that they had put up all year in a first half of play. Their previous high had been 46 points in a single half. They scored 50 tonight. Their offense was clicking. Their defense, as usual, was airtight. And the Huskies, out of position several times in rebounding situations, unable to get much going in terms of offense or defense in the first half, down by 12 at halftime. Mankato increased its lead again to 12 points with just over 16 minutes left, 56-44, but then St. Cloud State seemed to come to life. The Huskies scored 8 straight points at one juncture with just under 15 minutes left to trim the Maverick lead to 4. Several times the Huskies got to within 2 before they finally were able to tie the game for the first time at 70 all. We would have one other tie at 72 aside, but the Huskies would never lead in this ballgame as they just could not get over that hump. Mavericks held on tough and won the game essentially with the free throws that they made down the stretch. Mankato State was 11 of 16 in second half free throws, but 3 of those misses were by Lester Mitchell, with 2 of the 3 misses coming early in the second half, really when it counted down the stretch. People like Monty Dufault and, most importantly, Tom Wald made the free throws that the Mavericks needed to ice this one away. The Huskies, again, tied it twice, got to within 1 numerous times, including a putback basket by Haug Charnowski with just seconds remaining, about 6 seconds left when Haug put that shot back in off a miss by Gurman. That made it 84-83 Mavericks, but somebody on the floor, and we don't know who, somebody tried to call a timeout for St. Cloud State. Problem was the Huskies had already taken all 5 of their timeouts, and that was a technical foul on St. Cloud State. Wald moved to the free throw line, made both free throws to give the Mavericks a 3-point lead, and then they had a pass in following the possession with 6 seconds left. At that point, it looked virtually hopeless for the Huskies, but St. Cloud State got a break. A mid-court pass in. Ball came to Matt Potter, who raced into his backcourt trying to work time off the clock, played a game of keep away from Haug Charnowski and the Huskies. Charnowski lunged after Potter, forcing Potter to lose his balance. He fell out of bounds along the far sidelines, turned the ball over with 3 seconds left. No foul on the play, just a turnover against the Mavs, and the Huskies had new life. 3 seconds left, they were down by 3. Butch Raymond brought in John Evans, who saw a grand total of 6 seconds of playing time tonight, as that gave the Huskies an additional 3-point gunner into the game. They were able to get the ball into Joel McDonald, who put up a fake to get himself free, tried about a 23-foot 3-point jumper from a bad angle and under duress, and he missed it, but not by much. Went off the backboard, off the rim, bounced out, and the Huskies were 3-point losers tonight. St. Cloud State's 3rd consecutive loss. The Huskies dropped to 6-8 in the NCC. They are now 13-9 overall. Mankato, meanwhile, has won its last 3 games. The Mavericks moved to 8-6 in the NCC. They are now 15-7 overall. For St. Cloud State tonight, a career night for Haug Charnowski in more ways than one. Haug had his usual solid effort. He finishes with 30 points, which is 5 better than his previous career high, which he had accomplished twice. Twice this season, Charnowski had 25 points, including the Huskies' loss to North Dakota 4 nights ago actually, on Tuesday. So Charnowski betters that by 5 points, and that's also significant because Charnowski, with the 30 points, ended up over the 1,000 point mark for his career. Charnowski needed 27 to go into 4 figures scoring-wise. He ends up with 30 tonight. So the St. Cloud State junior now with 1,003 career points with 1+ seasons remaining in his fine career. 30 for Charnowski. The only other St. Cloud State player in double figures, guard Joel McDonald, he had 13. Balanced scoring elsewhere for the Huskies. 9 for Greg Kesty, 8 apiece for Chad Gurman and Travis Brown. For Travis, by the way, that was an NCC high, just too short of his overall St. Cloud State career high. 7 points for Stuart Kramer. 4 points this evening for Chris Bodette. 2 points each for Scott Springer, Dino DeVita, and Dan Ward. Ward had 2 points before fouling out, the only player to foul out of this ballgame tonight for either club. The other 2 players on the Husky bench, John Evans and LaTroy Spann, both saw ever so brief playing time, but did not score. For Mankato State, they were led again tonight by their superlative backcourt of Monty Dufault and Tom Ward. Dufault, the senior from Waseca, had a Mankato high 23 points. And Wald, the sophomore out of Brooklyn Park, had 21. And of those points for Wald, 15 came in the second half, including a whole bunch of clutch free throws down the stretch. According to our figures, Wald was 7 of 8 from the line down the stretch, part of his 15 second half points. Also for the Mavericks, Les Mitchell, the starting power forward, had 17, and another good effort for him. 10 points for starting center Joe Belka. 6 points tonight for Pat Coleman, 5 for Matt Potter, and 4 for Corey Kettner. Reserves Aaron Hungerholt, Todd Brenna, and Mike Woley did not score. Our final again tonight, Mankato State 86, St. Cloud State 83. We'll return to Hallenbeck Hall and check the scores after this.
peace, and I will sing the songs the Creator gave to me when I and the tree and the rock were one. Before cynicism was a bloody sear across your brow, and when you yet knew, you still knew nothing. The river sang and sings on. There is a true yearning to respond to the singing river and the wise rock. So say the Asian, the Hispanic, the Jew, the African, the Native American, the Sioux, the Catholic, the Muslim, the French, the Greek, the Irish, the rabbi, the priest, the sheik, the gay, the straight, the preacher, the privileged, the homeless, the teacher. They all hear the speaking of the tree. They hear the first and last of every tree speak to humankind today. Come to me, here beside the river. Plant yourself beside the river. Each of you, descendant of some passed-on traveler, has been paid for. You who gave me my first name, you Pawnee, Apache, Seneca, you Cherokee Nation, who rested with me, then forced on bloody feet, left me to the employment of other seekers, desperate for gain, starving for gold. You the Turk, the Arab, the Swede, the German, the Eskimo, the Scot, you the Ashanti, the Yoruba, the Kru, bought, sold, stolen, arriving on a nightmare, praying for a dream. Here, root yourselves beside me. I am that tree planted by the river which will not be moved. I the rock, I the river, I the tree, I am yours. Your passages have been paid. Lift up your faces. You have a piercing need for this bright morning dawning for you. History, despite its wrenching pain, cannot be unlived, but if faced with courage, need not be lived again. Lift up your eyes upon this day breaking for you. Give birth again to the dream. Women, children, men, take it into the palms of your hands. Mold it into the shape of your most private need. Sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. Do not be wedded forever to fear, yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here, on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out and upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country. No less to Midas than the mendicant, no less to you now than the mastodon then. Here, on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes and into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning.
Maya Angelou, raised by her grandmother in Stamps, Arkansas, about 25 miles from Hope, Arkansas. Grateful thanks from the president. She was quite nervous about this, said she didn't sleep too much in the last several weeks and thinks that every school child in America will now hate her because they'll have to learn this poem. How many lines will it have, she said the other day.
It was very good.
Maya Angelou's vision of America.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the 1993 presidential inauguration. As soon as the ceremony is over, my colleague on the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, the distinguished Senator from Alaska, Ted Stevens, will form the presidential escort to the east front of the Capitol. To conclude our program now, please rise for the benediction by Reverend Billy Graham and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by Marilyn Horne.
Our Father, we pray that as we come to the end of this ceremony, that we will long remember the challenges that we have heard. And we dedicate ourselves to do everything in our power to keep those challenges and to dedicate ourselves anew, not only to you, but to America and all the great ideals that we stand for. We pray again that thou wouldst bless the President and the Vice President as they lead us in the years to come. The Lord bless us and keep us. The Lord make his face shine upon us and be gracious unto us. The Lord lift up his countenance upon us and give us peace. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
It won't be long now before President Bush and Mrs. Bush will depart this capital with which he is so familiar.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so glory we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets raised clear, the bombs bursting in air, it proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now a chance for Governor Clinton to mingle, which he loves so much. And we now have 5 living former presidents. I call him Governor Clinton. Thank you very much. Well, it's bound to happen. President Clinton will now have a chance to mingle.
Takes a time.
And George